ready. Jake says we're live. Zach's got us featured on some cool ornaments. Check these out. Even though it is still fall, we are focused on moving forward, getting ready to manufacture lovely items for your home. Because why? Because we're handmade in America. We get raw materials shipped in, and yes, don't start the whole argument. Where are the raw materials from? But we get raw materials shipped in and we turn them into beautiful works of art. This is a custom order that's heading out the door probably next week. Zach's gonna end on one of our lovely mugs. You'll see more of that later. But today we are experimenting.
The experimental show.
And it's so fun. So we picked 2 words the other day.
Yep.
And
take a look at it.
We're gonna start out, these were completely random words. I put 10 words in a box under the gun, not quite thinking through everything. And one of the words was dry, and the next one was leaf, which goes really great with our question on Friday. But this is Jake's words, dry leaf, so he's gonna make something in glass with that. Excuse me, my words were soft, blue. So I have to make something that's soft and blue maybe, or represents soft and blue. So I've got my idea, Jake's got his idea, and with that, we're ready to get started. But Jake is checking that the tech is
just
all functioning.
Making sure the mics are working good, which I believe they are.
Yep, I hear us. I hear us. So it's fall here in Michigan. We love the change of colors. I'm reading a great book about a farmer who talks about Vermont and how everyone goes because of all the hills and checks out the leaves. So Friday's question is, what is your favorite fall? Like, where do you go to see the leaves? Is it your neighborhood park? Is it your backyard? Do you drive somewhere to go check it out? And what do you do if you're in like Texas or Arizona? Like, what does fall look like there? I've never been there to see any change in leaves. Do cactuses like change colors? Do they drop their flowers? I don't know. So that's a question for Friday.
Cool. A
Yeah.
leaf question.
Kind of. Yeah.
Do we want to go over the table of previous experimental show products?
It's up to you, or do you want to get started?
I like to show people what we've been through, and if people have joined the show just now and this is their first show, the table's starting to fill up real good. We've gone through quite a few different products here, from leaves and feathers to other conceptual crazy pieces with water droplets on them and all kinds of craziness. Some totally iridescent alien looking pieces.
I think we should put the date on
Yeah,
so
we
people
probably
can-
should, or at least a show number.
Yeah, show number. And
So
then
we see
these
the progression.
became some sort of an award, didn't they?
Yeah, we do have about 6 or 7 of those awards over there. We can browse over those in a minute.
Yeah, very cool.
And that was the prototype, and we did those on the show for those awards. But some other cool, really cool things with candy cane, with cane twisted color. We've got some larger pieces, all kinds of really cool stuff. And like Michelle was explaining, now we've got a couple prompts to go off of. This was the start of the show. Now we're going to have 2 prompts each to go off of, and whether it's totally conceptual or super realistic, it could be with glass, or if we want to do some drawing later on, whatever we want. It could be any medium, but this is the experimental show. It's experimental, and we're going to see how it goes. We're going to experiment.
And today, we can use different tools and props. And today, Jake is one of my tools because I'm going to do something that I physically can't do. I've never done. So instead of struggle through it on the show, master glassblower over here will help me out.
Teamwork. It'll be sweet. So I think I'm going first. Then let's talk about what I'm doing, because my 2 words were, if I remember correctly, dry and leaf. And now it could be leaf and dry, but it's kind of dry leaf right now. So,
and it's ironic that they were descriptive words too.
Yeah, and it's ironic that it's fall and the leaves are falling right now. So I was thinking about dry leaves, I was thinking about fall time, and I had a really good time making the squid last week because it was kind of realistic. I had something I was going for, and I wanted to make it as realistic as possible and put the detail, the little fine details into it, like the spine and the little texture all over the place. So I want to try and make a realistic leaf here, and just to make it a little more crazy and make it experimental, I've got this beautiful bucket of dry leaves right here. Just take a good look at that, folks.
Is this from your backyard?
This is from the front of the studio, actually.
We have
And
leaves
they're
that
still a
support.
little bit wet, so they may not burn appropriately, but that's okay because it's not necessarily about burning them. It's just about smoldering them and putting the essence of these leaves within the core of the leaf that I'm gonna make.
And so I think it's about smell too.
And it'll smell probably pretty good.
Like we're gonna be like, ooh, it's fall in here.
Big time.
And so I was doing some work, like spiritual work, that was talking about the flow of energy. And it was just saying like how money is energy and it flows in and out. You can't like stop it and block it up. So I think this is really cool. You're flowing the energy of fall
into the piece.
Yeah, it's essence. So whoever sees this leaf, they'll get that feeling because your mindset was so into fall leaves when you were making it.
Precisely. That's what it's all about, and that's the experimental show. I'm gonna get a little bit of glass, the core of this leaf, and I'm gonna drop it into here and then pick it back up. So there's gonna be burnt carbon, leaves, and bubbles, and all kinds of whatever happens with these burned leaves in the core. Then I'll gather clear over it. And if you take a look, come around this side, I got 4 different colors out for this process. So I've got a transparent brown, kind of an amber. I've got an opaque brown. I've got some totally blinging, kind of like a gold. It's like got sparkles in it almost, just for a little pizzazz to add to the piece. And then I've got some powdered brown here that when we get our final touches, I'm also gonna crackle this leaf a little bit with water.
So it's blown or it's just...
It's gonna be solid.
Okay.
We're gonna take this guy, which is pretty sweet, and pour a little powder in there and go like this over it so that it gets some powdery, crazy texture to it.
Powdery crazy.
Like what? It's kind of like bacon, putting some powdered sugar on there, except it's 2,000 degrees, not 375. So that's the plan.
Do you put powdered sugar
I've
in your
never, this is the leaf that I'm, no. This is the leaf I'm basing it off of. I also, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to pull some cane. There's 3, I mean, I'm just going to get really detailed on this, so just watch the way it goes. Yeah. And so I'm gonna pull a little bit of cane from this brown, I'm gonna pull a long, thick with color stringer like this long so that I can put at least 5 or 6 veins topically applied onto the leaf. So let's do it. We got the furnace up. We turn that up in the morning from about 2,000 up to about 2150 is a beautiful working temperature. And you think 2,000 degrees is a lot of heat. It's kind of crazy that 150 degrees at 2,000 makes a noticeable difference in the way the glass moves. At 2,000, it's really stiff. It's like if you took honey out of the freezer. It's kind of like stiff. But at 2150, it starts to get runny. It's actually like just regular honey. Maybe a little stiffer than that, but 2250, I would hardly be able to keep it on the pipe. So I'm gonna go in here, and I don't need a lot of glass. I just want a little bit of clear, and I'm gonna put 4 or 5 coats of that brown right on top here so that it's nice and dense, because I'm gonna pull it out long and I'm gonna pull it out thin. And if it, when it pulls out and it stretches out, it's kind of like if you think about blowing up a balloon. You got a little red, little floppy little balloon there in your hand, and it's deep red, and then you blow it up and it kind of becomes transparent, and that color expands and spreads out. Same thing here if I'm pulling this really long and far. Hope everybody's doing amazing out there. It's Thursday. It's a pretty darn nice day, actually. We've had a pretty rainy week, but the sun's shining. It's chilly. It's fall weather for sure. And we're blowing glass. We got a lot to do. We got a lot of plans for the holiday season. A lot of really cool reveals of a few new products we've got lined up for you all. And it's going to be a good time. Real good time.
All right, I'm back. I did not abandon you. Here I am.
Back. Would you,
Yes.
I guess I just like double checking that the volume and the mics and everything are good. So I don't know if you could pull up.
I'm trying not to check my phone. Are you asking me to check your Facebook?
Yeah, I think just it's wise, I think, for one of us at least, just to keep an eye on things in case there's some technical difficulties.
I agree. So we are getting a new social media person, everyone, and she will be joining us. We have sound. I'll check comments. Someone said they caught us live. Yay. Some crazy language and 21 other people are watching us.
Here we go.
You stay there. Look at
So
that.
before this gets too solid, I want to
Okay.
pull it out really thin. I want this thinner than any other stringer I could find because it needs to be, look at this, I got to double it down maybe.
All right, I'm going to ask you addicts who
There
are
we
on
go.
this, jump in, and please answer questions because I'm just going to check every now and then, but I really want to stay focused on what Jake's doing.
What the?
Hello.
But you see what I mean about pulling it thin? I mean, it's kind of a light brown now. I think it's actually the perfect brown. But that's probably just about perfect right there. And I'm going to set this on the floor because it's still kind of hot. It's got to cool down a little bit more. And we're going to use that once we get the leaf created. So that turned out real swell. There you can kind of see that brown color. That's looking pretty leafy right there. I agree with that leaf color.
All right, Friday's question is in the loop. For those of you who are watching now, we have a contest on Friday. You win a gift certificate at the Glass Academy if you play the contest and we pick your name. Meanwhile, since this is our experimental show, can you guys tell us where you're all from? When we do this during the day, I notice we get a little more UK people.
I want to do it on a big pipe.
Let us know when you are from. So, a big pipe. Also, if you have questions, we'll read them later. But if you have questions about what's going on, type them in the chat bar.
Here we go.
When Jake said a bigger pipe, the diameter is bigger.
Leaf essence.
Oh my God, that smells so good.
So before it gets too cold, I'm going to want to pick that back up. But it's melting the heck out of these leaves right now.
Yeah, and it's going way deep in there, and then it will also create a... What? It might create a
Whoa.
layer of ash on the glass, which may make gathering over it easy or not easy. I don't know.
There is the leaf essence. Still got some embers sparking up on there. A lot of action down in there. Smells great. So I'm going to heat it up just a little bit, and I'm going to squish all that essence into the core of this leaf right now. Just like this.
This is kind of like burning sage in the building.
Yeah.
How many of you out there burn sage for cleansing?
There we go. So now you see that ash all coated on the surface. Probably going to capture some bubbles and whatnot in there. But I'm going to go for a leaf. It's going to be probably realistic size, about that big. Maybe a little smaller if I could control myself, but I usually can't. So we're going to see what happens.
Can he control himself? All right, so there is a little bit of when he dips into the tank, that whole pot is clear, so you don't want to contaminate it. This is an experimental show. We are watching. We're not doing something that's large and clear. And
I don't know how visible that is on camera, but there's bubbles, there's ash trapped in there. I'm going to get our first layer of brown on top. Just one layer. I don't want it too dense. I'm going to put some other browns on there as well. You see the leaves are still smoking over there. That's a double whammy. It's the incense for this piece, so it's burning in the air, and it's within the piece.
so it's round right now, Jake. How do you get it to be flat?
I'm going to give it the squish technique.
And that would be with a paddle or with a metal paddle? What do you think?
Yeah, a little taglia.
Okay.
Now I just put the gold on there. I went in directly after I went over the brown so that it wasn't a full coat of gold. It's a hint of like sparkles going on deep, deep within there that you're hardly going to really notice.
Where does the taglia reside these days?
Right there, right on the bench. Underneath it, yeah. Do I want more color than that? Yes.
So Jake's nice skills.
I'm going to do one more line down the three browns.
Okay.
I think you're going to be the powdered sugar specialist on this one.
Are we doing it under the hood or over here?
We could probably just do it right over the frit tray maybe, or
Okay.
right over the marver, so we don't lose it all.
Is that right at the end?
Yeah, that'll be the final thing. I'm going to Wait till you see the crackle. I think the crackle is going to give it, because I'm going to do 5 or 6 that cane thickness veins, but then to symbolize all the other veins, all those tiny little ones that make a leaf what a leaf is, we're going to dunk this in water so it's got little fractures, little crackles throughout the whole thing. It's going to look pretty darn leafy and sick.
I'm going to go get a fruit tray.
Okay.
And a spoon. Do I have a minute?
Yep. So I'm giving it the neckline. That's where I'm going to break it off eventually. And I'm shaping it up into a shape that I think is going to be really nice for when I go for the full squish here. Kind of wider on the bottom like this. So I squish it out. It's got 2 wide spots. It goes up to a point, and then I'm going to kind of go around the entire thing and cut and bend and finesse each point to the leaf. So the squish is going to be first here. The key for this move is that I can't squish it too thin. It's going to get flopping on me. It's going to be cooling down too quick. I won't have time to work on it. So I want to have the right thickness. I'm thinking like a 1/4 inch in thickness. I also don't want any of the tips or anything to crackle or fall off when I do the crackle move on it. All right. El Squish R.
So the metal tools on the metal table, because he's been rolling the glass on that table, it won't give it a lot of chill marks, but that's a consideration. That gives it like a skin on the surface. The paddle being colder kind of leaves these chill marks on it, but that could be a pattern that you want or do not want. Heating it up just...
I want it thinner, but I think it would be wise, especially in a first-time attempt of a leaf, to leave it a little thicker and give myself some room to work here. Mom, could you put that leaf, spread it out as best you can and put it on the bench for me? Yeah, so I can
maple leaf?
Know what I'm doing here.
Isn't that like a hockey team you don't like?
Yeah.
How about that? If
That's
I do
perfect.
it that way?
Yes.
Oh, you know what? There.
Thank you. So we've got, it's kind of like one big
3.
one, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay.
What I find interesting about doing these things is just like when I had the kale. It's good to have a sample here to play off of, because what your mind remembers, we should all know what a maple leaf looks like, and then when push comes to shove, it's like, wait.
Like, huh?
What does a maple leaf look like? So it's flopping back and forth because it's hot. The glass can be cut when it is hot. This is a brownish color, so as it cools, you can kind of start to see the color. There are some people that make super realistic products.
I've never done it before.
Yeah, I'm thinking of someone who does birds, and she has all these techniques to cut and pull the glass to get it the shape that you want.
I'm gonna make my own techniques up.
Well, that's just it. I mean, that's why it's an experimental show. It's like...
It's cool for me because right now, like, I've grown up knowing how to make drinkware just from watching it being made. I've never watched somebody make a leaf before. I got no idea what I'm doing. So I'm just really just winging it here and just seeing what I can come up with on my own, in my brain.
And the other part, Jake might use the torch to heat certain areas. Sculpting solid glass is completely different than blown glass. It holds its heat different. It reacts on the pipe different. It's got all these nuances to it, which is exactly what's going to happen when I go to do mine. Like, in my head it can work.
Right, but who knows what happens when it happens. Okay. Now I'm going to start by giving some pinches and pulls here.
It's looking like a leaf.
It's coming along.
Oh, look at that.
It's just the start. It's a great base right now, but I mean, we're going to spend another maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes just doing the color pattern and the texture. It's going to be
Okay,
sweet.
so you are crackling it.
I will be
But
crackling
watch
it.
your thin parts, because to get your crackle
Right.
on the thick.
Totally.
Okay. So the place he's at right now in the glory hole is a reheating chamber. We can go there as often as we like. When I was in college, there was a gentleman who worked on a piece for 8 hours a day. And he would have a team of assistants, and they'd all take their turn going in and shaping and sculpting the glass. So, like he said, if he spends 15 minutes on it, he can. He can spend as long as he wants on it.
It's looking a little more like an oak leaf, and I think right now it's because I put those cuts a little deeper than I maybe should have. But I think I know how I'm going to solve that.
Another trick for me is to let Jake experiment on his own. One of the hardest things I think for a glassblower is to like watch someone else develop a piece without going like, oh, you should do this.
Right.
Like should is, you never want to should on anyone.
Totally.
Especially when they're experimenting, right?
Never want to should on somebody.
Yeah, that's a famous quote.
Will you take this? I'm going to put those veins on here.
Can you, can I scoot this so I don't step on it?
I'm going to grab them right now. Thank you.
Am I keeping it warm or?
No, let it stabilize a little bit here. So there's our cane. Watch out.
So back when Jake was first born, I worked in a floral shop. And the floral shop was really cool because you could just drop your extra leaves on the ground. And when Jake just dropped that glass on the ground, what you do. It doesn't matter. We sweep up at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So the piece on the pipe is nice and solid. So he's got plenty of working time versus a piece that's a little thinner and blown. I don't know how many of you out there do Clubhouse. Jake doesn't know this yet. We're going to do a Clubhouse lecture, and we're going to talk about how to buy glass, and Jake's going to be involved. We're going to get Jake involved in Clubhouse. Clubhouse is kind of like a Facebook, but only talking. So we're going to talk about some different heuristics of
flasher.
glass. And then we'll really confuse everyone because you and Dad will both be on it and your voices will be the same.
There's no video, it's just audio?
It's just audio, and it's an amazing platform for learning. And so we're going to, it's kind of like if you did a podcast. So heating it up, he's using this torch.
Gonna do 2 more.
This is a different color. It's kind of fun not seeing the questions, to be honest. Maybe not for you guys.
This one I'm gonna go in the bench for.
Oh, and then Zach steps on it. Jeez. Oh. No worries, Zach. So we're a pretty small crew here. There are glass shops that might have like 10 people on a team if they're making something rather large or a big body of work. I have lots of friends who are in the Seattle area that work for some studios.
All right, we got the veins on there. Thank you very much. Oh yeah. Making a leaf. Now's where I'm going to start torching specific spots, and I want to really get these the tips of this thing flattened out down to a thin edge of the leaf, so it's thicker on the body, but it comes down to a nice thick edge. Oh, yeah, sure, thanks.
So I did notice that a lot of times when we're talking, it's like commentating on sports.
Big time.
Jake steps up to the glory hole.
Big time.
Deep in concentration, he's making his next move.
Trying to get them thin, and then I'm going to take the shears to the edge of this and try and put some points and whatnot into it.
I do relate sculpting glass somewhat like cooking because of the tools. The idea is chefs can relate to what we do.
Right.
But what you were just doing felt like cooking somehow, like you were mixing a pot.
Would you run heats on this for me, Mom, so I can...
Like you're doing right now?
No, like to the hole?
Yeah.
And I'll just work on one little spot at a time?
Say when.
Go for it.
And how hot do you want it?
Just a good deep flash, not too hot. And I'm going to do a couple cuts here. I want to go like this and like that. Yep.
Oh, I have to do my airplane one day. Welcome to the experimental show. You are at the Glass Academy. We are located in Dearborn, Michigan. Hometown of Henry Ford is a great way to remember us. If you come into town to vacation here in Metro Detroit, stop by and say hello. We've got Jake Nordine working on a leaf. The experimental show is just that, trying new practices, trying new things, exploring new techniques. Welcome all of you to watch with us. And the cool thing about this, these shows are also on YouTube. So you can go back later if you don't have time to watch the whole video. You can watch parts and sections of it. Then go to YouTube, fast forward to your favorite parts. There are no commercials. There are endless opportunities to see what we do. Unlike a TV show, this is unedited, no drama.
Live.
And you see the reality, like the pace of making something.
Totally.
When you go somewhere and you're like, oh.
Could you grab me the, there's like a brass stick in the hand tool box over there? Like a 1/2 inch diameter. No, there's a thinner one, yeah. It's in the hand tool area, the hand tool box. Nope.
Got it.
Right over there. Thank you kindly. This is for get up in the crevice here like this. And that makes a huge difference.
So for artists, we have professional artists, or as you're out of school or learning your craft, there are 3 major schools I know that teach glass instruction. And so for us, when we do a 2-week workshop at one of those places, that's how we can explore. Not every artist has the capability to have a studio like this, so those workshops are really a way to study a body of work that you might be interested in. They're usually taught by an individual with a team of assistants. You get some extra time to flow. You're paired up with a partner. And this is where you would go and things like that. My
You
favorite
just
one.
give it a good heat, and then just heat just the tip of it, and I'm gonna do 2 cuts on the outside here. If you take a seat in the bench with it. Maybe after these 2 cuts, we'll take a heat, and we can get an up-close zoom on it and see how the progress is coming along.
I'm gonna flip.
Yep.
Have tweezers in your other hand to pull it.
Very true. Let's take one more heat on it. Okay. Take a heat on it. I'm gonna tag it. Thank you.
The experimental show on these is kind of interesting too, because when you've never done it, you don't know how to assist for it.
Right.
So it's a little bit of kind of knowing each other and like working through it.
Totally. Interesting.
And then the other thing is, when it's experimental, you have opportunity to change your mind. Hey, I thought I was going to do A, but now I'm going to do B. Using gravity, he swings the pipe with control and precision.
It's looking a little more leaf-like. I still am struggling on a little bit of it. Let's see what I can do though.
I think it's that coming out as a point.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do next. This one of these.
I think the cane for the veins was pretty cool, because I like how it's doing a fade now.
Yeah.
Did you get that close-up you wanted?
Not yet.
So we have all kinds of people watching us, some crazy names watching us that I'm guessing are from some foreign countries, because I
That's
can't
awesome.
even
I love to see
understand
that.
the text. Yeah.
Folks, I hope
So tell us where you're from.
Yeah,
if you're
let's hear where you're
understanding this
from.
and you understand English, give us a shout out. Tell us what country you're watching from. We find it very interesting in the glass world. We have videos from other countries of glass blowing. And it's fascinating to watch how factories make glass. There is a lot of imported handmade glass. And they're large factories. We are a studio factory, or a studio smaller. Just a few glass blowers. This is brown in colors. Jake layered a few different browns. Ironically, I need brown for my piece as well, so that worked out well.
Well, I'm not in love with it, but we're just going to keep going with it. We're just going to keep doing what we do. I don't wish it was easy enough that I could just think of something and make it perfectly every time. That's not what I wish. But I do sometimes feel like that's what's going to happen.
I think there's some really cool elements to this. And this is the stuff that keeps you up at night.
Totally. That's the truth.
How can I get that look?
That helped. That looks pretty good. It's just these 2 tall wings are too big. They're just too wide.
You know, once you start hiking now and you start picking up more leaves, in isolation it feels weird, but it's
Right.
not.
That's true. This is true. No 2 leaves are alike. They're like snowflakes.
Yeah, like snowflakes. No 2 people are alike. Come on, Jake, lighten up.
No leaf left behind. All right, I'm gonna get the neckline in there tighter so we can break it off. When we do knock it off, we're gonna knock it off on the table and then, or maybe even in the vermiculite and then put the stem on it and then take it away.
So the stem is hot?
Yes.
And the stem is a color?
The stem is a color, yes.
Gather some glass and put color on it?
Negative. We still gotta crackle it and we still got to dust it. But it's coming along.
So another thing, when you heat it up, by swinging it or holding it down, you're gonna pull some of that heaviness off the base.
Let it naturally kind of take its form.
There's something really cool about glass blowing and heat, allowing it to move naturally, because that's, I mean, if you watch a plant grow, it's very much how we shape things in glass.
So
to
then
make mechanical things like a bolt in glass, not so exciting, but to do nature items.
Will you hold this for me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some more lines with the butter knife. Flip it along the veins here.
So I could also do this.
Yeah, that's nice.
So I'll go here, and then when you're gonna cut, I'll move up.
Okay, go for it.
So do you guys understand that? Because he's putting so much pressure on it, by putting it on the bench gives him better leverage.
Okay. Ooh, that's cool. That's looking a little more vein-like.
The artist emotion. 1 minute it's like,
yeah, I want to throw it in the trash.
The next minute, yeah.
Nothing a good old butter knife can't fix, folks.
I could do this too.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay. It's getting close. Yep. Ooh, baby, that makes a huge difference.
Huge.
Remember, folks, if you join the show, Zach, maybe you could even show them. See that pile of leaves in that bucket there? We put the essence of fallen leaves into the core of this leaf. Meaning we burned them and then gathered over it. You can see it on the moil here, the part that's not the actual leaf. It's actually got a hole in it right there. A bubble from the gases from the burning leaf. Look, it's right there, okay? That's cool.
From the gases.
This thing is looking
From
cool.
deep within.
That's so sweet. I mean, look at this thing's got a hole right there. It totally gathered the essence of the leaves.
What am I doing here?
We're gonna do a couple more lines here. You can even just flip it. Yeah, I'm gonna do, yeah, flip it back this way. Bring it right up, no torch.
So the other thing Jake's thinking about is if it has a top or a bottom and how it's going to sit somewhere. So the backside he's not putting the texture in because my guess is that's irrelevant.
Let's do one more of those. I think it'll be good. Then we're going to crackle it, then we'll powder it, then we'll put the stem on it. Okay? And actually, we're going to put a clear raindrop like the first few pieces we did on the experimental show.
What's going on here? You're adding all kinds of things.
Well, that's just how it's going to sit. It's got to be there so it can sit.
I'm teasing it.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Anything good?
The thickness that we had on there was perfect because now as we just squished it out more and more, it's the perfect thickness. It's not too thick anymore. Now the stem's ready to go. Look at that. All right, now it's crack-a-lackin' time.
Okay, Zach, I want to show you this. We're going to put a little hot chocolate on it. I mean, this is the brown that he's going to add in a bit.
So then I think for this move, Zach, the best angle is going to be right behind the bench. I'm going to get this thing super hot, and I'm going to dunk it right in the water. Now watch the color change too, from the red right now, orangish. That's an insta-cool. I'm gonna do that probably 5 or 6 times so that those cracks can get in there good. Very important that I heat it up a lot in between, otherwise I will just crack this leaf right off of the pipe. I'm also being careful I'm not dunking it all the way up to the fragile connection that I've got, because then it'll fall off the pipe as well.
This is a good time. There's lots of comments happening. I appreciate all the people who are anniversary followers of the Glass Academy. One of the things with glass blowing, people will be like, it's so expensive. Well, this might give you a better idea of why. I don't know how long Jake has focused on this piece. This is only a prototype. If he decides to do more of these, you can see the time, the energy. We've got an assistant, we've got the glory hole on. You know, that Netflix show Blown Away, a lot of people are like, I want to be a glass blower. And there's time and training and years of assisting to even understand the medium. Just like if you were a painter and you spent years perfecting your craft, and you have a value and you deserve to be paid for it. And that's kind of how we feel about our work here. We balance out the items we sell in our gallery with new items, practicing new items like this. And the bottom line is we have fun.
Heck yeah, when it's going good.
Where 10 minutes ago it was like,
So the crackle worked out really cool because the tips, all the tiniest tips here are crackled super like hardcore looking. It's just got great texture. Give it a zoom. I'll hold it up so it's not flopping too much. Take a look at that front side. And there's a window into a hole that's trapped that burnt leaf energy in it.
okay, so next is the powder.
Now we're gonna powder it a little bit.
So do you, yeah.
I kind of want, we're gonna dust it and we'll do it on both sides, a light dusting, not a full coat, like hold it up high and just let it, just a light dusting, because then we're gonna reduce it, it'll have a little bit of gold.
Do you want to dust it and I'll bring it over?
That sounds good.
Say when?
All right, folks, here we go. Just got the dust in here. Bring it.
Stay low.
We'll do both sides. So let's see, start in the back, yeah. Good. Good, let's give it a flash, see what it looks like. Real quick flash. And let's melt it in a little bit more. It's kind of covering up the whole body, you see that?
What are you thinking in terms of stem color?
Stem color is going to be just that brown on the left there.
Should I start now?
And you could, yeah, you could gather it up. Honestly, it's too much. It took over.
Wow, that furnace is full to the top.
Super full.
Woo. So there is a pot, a high fire ceramic pot in the furnace that we gather the glass from.
There we go. Now it's looking more like it. I'm melting it in a little bit more.
The energy's running high. Do you want this marbled or no?
Yeah, just wider on the tip. Yep, just like that. You know, actually, I'm sorry. We gotta dump that.
Okay.
Or actually, no, yeah, we gotta dump that. We're gonna take the clear ball and then we'll punny it up and then put that on while it's hot, and then we can just knock it off and be done with it.
So the clear ball is what size? And going on what part?
Going right on the back side so it can lean up against it.
Okay.
want it sitting, I think like that. God, that bubble, it just couldn't have worked out any better.
Okay, so this is clear glass, only orange because of the heat. Letting it stabilize slightly until he's satisfied with the heat. And I'm sorry, are we punting on the leaf?
We're gonna punty right on the ball.
I mean, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this is a super multi-functional, super cool application. It's something for this leaf to lean onto when it's on the table, but it's also going to be serving it as, once it cools down here, a punty, which is going to be the point that we can connect another rod onto it to pop it off and flip it around. And I just stayed out a little bit long, which caused all those super crackled tips to pop off. So now I got to look at it and make sure that I'm doing okay.
So he is allowing that
Actually
ball
looked really
cool
cool
off.
having those pop off, because now there's like some sharp
Now it
edges.
Looks like a real leaf.
Yeah.
I will reheat my punny while his round ball takes time to solidify. We can tell by the color it's a little too hot.
Kind of like it having a little bit of facetedness to it, not perfectly symmetrical. That's cool.
You're hilarious to work with. Oh my God, that's so cool. The other thing I like about this is it raises it off the table and allows light reflection through the bottom.
Totally. All right, one more flash, and I think let's do it. I'll be ready when you're cool.
I'm so cool.
Yep.
All right.
Let that cool for 1 sec. It's going to be just straight up like that. Yeah. A little lower. Here it comes. Sweet. Thank you. And now we're going to put on one long, beautiful, just like you had it the last day. Could be a little smaller maybe.
Okay.
Stem on here. It's probably the most detail I've tried to ever put into something to make it look realistic.
I didn't go smaller. So. How do you?
Just super hot, straight over the top.
Ready?
Yeah, let me take one quick one. All right.
Zach, you can walk around if you like.
number 1.
It's like an umbilical cord.
Yeah. Final move is if you take a zoom on this, see how that stem, when it comes down to the very end, it's got a wider spot. So I'm going to heat this tip up here, take one more flash, and then give it a nice squish so that it's got that flat part where it was connected to the tree.
Never know when to shut the windows in the warehouse. We shut the windows and now today's a beautiful day. So any reduction or anything on this?
I think it's already got enough reduction on it that I'm
Okay.
going to just leave it as it is. Or we could take, how about a little bit of reduction, we'll just see what it looks like, a little bit of iridescence on it. We can take it off if we don't like it. Yeah. That's it right there, folks. Snazzy leaf right there. So then I'm going to want to torch the bottom real good. Get this thing nice and smooth.
Here comes Amtrak.
Who's there?
Beep, beep.
Thank you.
Whoops. Some adjustment.
I think we're out of air. Thank God it's clear and I can super blast it like this. If it was any other color, I'd be changing the color of it right now.
Gentle. Table on the left, sir. Or right in the middle.
Oh yeah. Cool. It honestly wasn't, I was picturing a perfectly real leaf in my brain. It was darn close. I'm excited to hold it in my hands and see how it actually turned out. But for anybody who joined the show and is just watching now, keep in mind that these leaves were burned up and are inside the actual leaf. It caused it to have bubbles in multiple places and break through, and that's pretty cool. Those were my prompts for today. Leaf and dry, so I went realistic with it and made a real dry leaf, and turned out good.
It did.
And now it's Michelle's turn. So remind us of your prompts and what your plan is.
Yeah, so we're not going to answer any questions. We're going to roll with the next stages. So my name is Michelle. Jacob's my son. This is at the Glass Academy. My words were blue and soft.
Blue and soft.
Yeah, and so, right, this is experimental show. This is not anything I need to make. That's my normal item, so I'm going with a soft blue item. So that is open for interpretation. My first thought was I'd do a pillow, like nice and soft, I'd do a blue pillow.
Sure.
But that's a product I've already done in the past. Don't ask me what a pillow is.
Don't ask.
I mean, a glass pillow, it doesn't make sense, but it does. Okay, so I need Jake's help with this. He's actually going to start out doing the part that I am not good at.
The waffle.
So, Jake, I will say the color is this. You're going to go in this color. And then after you come out of the mold, roll in this.
Okay. Got it. Torch is back in action.
Okay. I'm going to do the soft part is this. It's a blue. And I'm going to do something that I've never done, but I saw done, and I'm interested in learning more.
All right.
So should I?
You want me to start up then
Yeah,
and bring
go
you the
start
waffle
it
cone?
up and
How
then-
big?
Where's the last place? A real size.
Experimental. Real size, like so, like that big.
Yes.
All right.
So, the chalk. Das Chalk. So mine is going to be ice cream cone. That's got that crosshatch pattern. This is the part that I have never used that mold. Don't really want to learn it. Jake knows it really well, so he's going to be the one that works it with me. I will take his expertise and his skill, and then I'm going to do this soft, goopy blue ice cream dripping down the cone. That looks like soft and blue. I guess ice cream isn't wavy. We'll make it more bumpy.
Nice.
How many people out there know Dale Chihuly? Dale Chihuly is famous for like sketching out on the floor before he makes his items. Okay, so I've mentioned to Jake it's going to be a brown, so like that tan sugar cone kind of thing. After he blows it into the mold, we'll go in another brown to give it on give it some highlights based off the pattern on the mold.
I'm going to go into this mold real soon here. First, I'm going to blow this bubble into it. Make sure this is a hollow mass of glass. You want me to hit the mold and hit the color and then take a heat on it and hand it to you?
So after the mold, go right into the color and then I'll take it.
Okay. All right, I'm going for the mold. This is a pretty difficult mold because you got to expand and blow into it and then inhale air so it shrinks so you can get out of the mold. And if it's not lined up correctly, the bubble isn't completely even in there, then it doesn't shrink correctly and it won't come out. So it's very important to get this thing lined up correct. Oh yeah.
And now go into the color, just a light
Beautiful
spin.
hit.
Lovely. Thank you, sir.
So now we got texture on there, we got the color. She's gonna shape it up into a waffle cone.
So this coming summer, Jake was saying, I think I want to go take a workshop.
Yep.
And that's how you get new ideas, new techniques. I mean, I could sit on YouTube and follow other glass artists to get ideas too, in terms of technique. But it's fun to have this experimental show for that reason. Blow. Nice. Looking like
This is a realistic cone size for sure.
torpedo. Okay, truth be told, I don't really like ice cream. Every once in a while, it's like peanut butter. Every once in a while, I get a craving for it. But for the most part, I don't like ice cream.
Well, I just ate peanut butter ice cream last night with Reese's crumbled all over it. And it was good.
So when you go someplace and they give you those giant ice cream cones, I'm like, I don't want that much. Bah, humbug. So yes, this will be somewhat realistic. So it's got a balance on this point on the bottom a little bit, so I am going to leave it a little thicker. Okay, so I will take a Maritz. And that's just a small bit of glass on the bottom that will stick the punny on and it will hold it while I work on the top part. This will get ground away later.
You want this a punny?
Yeah, you can make it into a punny.
Now we're going to flip it around, open up the other side, and then start talking about ice cream.
Ice cream.
Should I make a bigger punny? That's not a big punny.
Yeah, go ahead and do a bigger one because this will be solid.
I want something that's going to hold a little more heat than that. It was kind of tiny, so I'm going to use one of these big pipes so we don't lose it if we are spending too much time working on the ice cream. So I probably got double, maybe triple the amount of glass. That's just going to hold its heat a lot better. It's not going to risk cracking. And if you guys have ever had cracking, it's kind of like a spiced rum. And it's not bad. But anyway, we're making ice cream here.
This would be like kitsch art or pop art, like Andy Warhol-ish.
Yeah, totally.
All about kitsch. So if you haven't been to the Glass Academy, we have a gallery. It's called Batch Gallery. That's where our finished products end up.
Oh, we got a beautiful website.
2022, we're going to have a expanded section that has more pop art or high-end. So we'll really show off our skills. Opportunity for visiting artists. This was all on the plate for 2020, but then our lives changed. So for the last 2 years, we've been doing other things.
A lot of changes and a lot of lives out there. It's a crazy time to be live.
Yeah, and
folks.
thanks for watching.
And thanks for watching.
Whoever knew, like 10 years ago, you're going to be doing a live show.
Making an ice cream cone.
2 times a week.
So we do Tuesday's show is we're on 134. This show we're on show number 9. This is fairly new. And then Sundays we do the annealer reveal. So both these products from today and the products created from Tuesday's show, we show in their completed form on Sundays. And
Okay.
it's because they got to cool down overnight.
Now what I need is some clear glass to go in there.
Okay.
So I need the larger shears and slightly pointed. We're just going to pour it right in. So not so hot I can't handle it. A little tapered so that it will go down.
I'm going to leave the big pipe up for you for the ice cream.
Okay.
All right, so I got some clear. We're going to fill this cone up. This is kind of like if they filled it up with like cone material and then only gave you ice cream on the very top. We're doing that move to you right now.
Oh, you know what would have been nice too? Is cotton candy. This could be a series, because if the blue does what I think it will do.
Nice. Filling it up like soft serve. Woohoo!
Going down in there. So there's a couple reasons I did that. One is when I did the blue, I didn't want the blue to fall out. I'll let you shape it up. You can just babysit it.
This.
Yeah, and I'll start the blue.
Sounds great. So let's take a look at it. See how she filled that in with clear? It's a lot of extra heat that's just been presented onto the outside or the inside of this glass. So I got to think about that and make sure that it's not going to start moving or getting wonky on me, and kind of slowly take flashes here to equalize all the temperatures so that she can make this blue ice cream however she wants. And when she brings it over and sets it on here, it's not going to misform the rest of her body. I see that heat moving around, wanting to move this cone around.
Some of the countries, so we had a video go viral and we've got all these crazy countries watching us. They're gonna be like, what are these crazy Americans doing? Yeah, I had a vision of me standing outside the bench doing this.
Yeah.
Because you were holding the pipe. But I'll figure it out.
What do you want to do?
If we would have had that in the garage, I could have handed you the pipe and looked at it. Had a different perspective. So I need one more dip of color, and then we wouldn't be doing the glory hole dance.
Yeah, folks, if there's anybody out there that's brand new to the show, just joining the Glass Academy and our family situation over here, let us know in the chat. It's pretty cool. These are fun comments to read from this show. We read them after the fact, but to see people's comments on a different style of artwork than we usually do, experimental activity, It's pretty cool because there are some cool comments and some cool points that are brought up from the viewers. Take a look at this. That's beautiful zoom situation. She's giving it the full flop. This is like totally mixing taffy.
Which is, if I were to take another job, I'd buy
You'd be a taffy mixer?
No, it'd be like sticky lollies.
The other thing you could do is let it drip in the hole and just let it spiral up and get super hot in there.
The thing I liked about the video I saw is she was going like taffy, so it creates a different type of fold.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah. This is actually a move you get to do in one of our classes we teach here if anybody's local. It's the paperweight class, and you do this for the core of a paperweight. Swirl up your color and just get it all crazy and all over the place.
And I think the trick is to go more on the blowpipe or the pipe and then pull it off in the end.
Keeping this guy nice and warm. The most important part and the reason that I made that bigger punny is this part right here. If this gets too cold and we're gonna just focus on the top and put the ice cream on there, then this connection breaks and the whole piece hits the floor. So it's super important when I take these heats, I'm going real deep into the hole. Yeah. It's like almost like we're at the Cold Stone Creamery right now.
I know, right? So this is going to take a few minutes. I could have mixed some chocolate chips in.
Whoa. Chocolate chips and cotton candy ice cream? Weird.
Oops. So, yeah. I think too, I would have preferred to be out here and do it because I could have different tools stretching it and folding it. So we'll know for next time. Basically what I'm getting at is I'd love another assistant.
More people in the shop. We need hands. You can be the best glass blower in the world, but you can't make anything in the world if you don't have great assistants around you. Glass blowing's always multiple people. It's a team effort no matter what.
Now we got it going on.
You got it?
So my goal with this is by folding it over, very similar to on sticky lollies when they do this, it puts air in the mixture and it creates a different texture on the candy. What it does for glass is it allows more light through it, more reflective quality.
This is Blue Moon flavor. That's right, folks. Look at that stretching. Woo, taffy special.
You can see the light.
Totally.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
So now I want to do one like 5 times the size and do a cotton candy. Have you seen those cotton candy videos? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
N-O-R-D-I-N. You too.
Little FedEx delivery. We've actually got 4 more pallets of raw clear glass showing up tomorrow, folks. That's on large pallets, 2,000-pound pallets. And we've got a high-low. We're going to pull it off of the truck and load it up, get it where we want it. That's how we stay strong around here, carrying around 50-pound bags of glass. Keeps us on our toes.
Dog food's not enough. It's got to be a little more everything. All right.
Happy Halloween coming up real soon, folks. If you're from outside of the United States, you don't celebrate Halloween, then happy, scary time of the year. But it's going to be a great weekend.
All right, we're almost there.
That's looking really cool. Maybe you could give Zach a close-up of that at some point, because that's sweet looking. Really cool.
Okay, I've got one little little knob that I don't like. So after that goes away, we'll be able to put it on. What I'm really enjoying is this, the movement of that. So those are the parts that I want to capture. What I don't want is that. So I'm gonna work it a little more until I get rid of some of that. And then we're gonna stick it on and work it on that a little.
It'd be pretty cool to have a little ice cream parlor in the gallery. We get like 10 different ice cream cones set up on the wall, beautiful art pieces, put them on a piece of wood.
You stick to your leaves.
Would any of you out there
I'll stick to mine.
put a wooden ice cream, a wooden backed ice cream, glass ice cream cone in your house on your wall? I probably would. This thing's got some reflective, some
That's
iridescence
what I love.
going on here
Okay.
now.
So I like that and I like that. So those will become the top.
That part's gonna go on the bottom there.
Yeah, so we'll go like that and then I can just move these last couple things. So let's see. Let me heat it and drip it a little. This is a blue color, yellow from the furnace, gives it a greenish tone because it's hot.
Two buyers. Tech support says we've got 2 people interested in
I'm not
a
selling
glass ice cream
I
cone
am not
mounted on a piece of
this.
wood.
Selling this.
But it's not for sale, not yet at least. This is
Okay, so
prototyping
you're gonna bring it to
experimental
me,
show.
We're gonna switch.
You want to switch now?
Yes.
It needs a little bit of heat on it.
And I'm gonna do. Give me 1 second. I want this a little hotter.
So that definitely does look green, but it's because it's so hot. But that's a beautiful glowing situation.
Okay, so
That's
you
going to be an
got
electric blue.
super duper
Hot?
drippy hot because we're gonna.
And which
stick
side's
it
going down? That side?
with the exact bottom.
The exact bottom.
So I got nice and hot. Use these. Yes, exactly like that.
Here's the moment of truth, folks. The stick, the application. Here it comes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
Scrumptious. So now she can't fold it and flip it quite as much with the full mass like she was before, but I assume she's going to get just the top hot and kind of fix up and shape up the top in the way that she wants it to look, to be a completed looking piece. Let's see, Kelly?
another thing that's
No ice
interesting
cream.
about these experimental shows is this is our quiet time in the studio. We're not open to the public. This is our time to create and explore.
Oh, it's dripping. Must be a summer day.
Yeah, so to get it that hot, I did lose a little bit of what I wanted there.
Of that texture.
Yeah, so
That looks cool, that fold over on top, the
I'm gonna-
dollop.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull some of those. And then cut that top and fix it up a little.
So again, folks, her prompts were blue and soft. And she opted for some soft, juicy, cool ice cream out of blue glass. We're gonna see these in their final color and their true existence on Sunday during the annealer reveal. Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
It's tough too because she wants to heat up that top and melt that blue and shape the blue, but she's got to be careful not to let waffle cone get too hot and start to misshape
so
itself.
I like this.
Yeah, super cool to fold
But
over.
when I got too hot, I lost some of it on this part. So that's a technical.
Melting in that
Is that a
texture a little bit too
technical error?
much.
But overall, it will kill.
Whoa.
No, remember that show? What is it? Forged in the Fire?
Oh.
It will kill. That's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Think it's good?
Yeah.
All right.
So this is going to get ground, so we could just break it in the annealer.
Okay. That means she's going to polish the bottom and get rid of that clear piece in the bottom, so it comes right down to that cone point. So she's taking a couple more flashes to equalize the temperature. There's a lot of heat up in that ice cream on the very top here. That core is still glowing. The whole cone is solid, so you really got to equalize those temperatures and let them cool down together. If we put it away and the outside's cold, like 1600 degrees, and the inside's like 2000 still, it won't cool down properly.
So I think next time I could do the top and have this just last second.
Right.
But you don't know what you don't know.
Yep. All right, here we go. Here goes the break.
So there it is.
Were you trying to break it on the punny mark or what part?
Oh yeah, I did put it in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
didn't
Maybe take a flash or torch that or something.
I? Either one, it's still going to get rounded out.
A metal frame would be nice. Mom does love welding and cutting metal. So she might be in the cold shop on the next show making a frame for this baby. Who knows? But here goes the break. She's got a little bit of water on there. We're going to open up the door and get this thing safe and sound. Beautiful. Look at that.
Little roll, but that's
All right.
okay.
So now she can polish the bottom and it looks pretty good.
It does.
What do you
It's
think?
so hard to do these shows and just do one.
I know.
It's like,
And how much time did we just spend? 2 hours?
yeah, and
Hour, 45 minutes. Time
Wow.
flies.
we gotta like do the real part of the business.
Yeah. Wow.
It's all good.
Well,
So if anyone wants to donate money for our cause and our efforts,
buy something on theglassacademy.com. Send us a tip. Watch our shows. Spread the love. Spread the feed. We're on YouTube and Facebook. We're all over the place. And folks, word of mouth is what makes it happen. So if you do love what we're doing, share it to your friends and share it to your family. Take a look at some of the beautiful things we make. Everything we make is handmade. It's all local here. Maybe not local to everybody, but in Dearborn, Michigan. And we'll be on Sunday to show you all the finished products from both this show and Tuesday's show.
and because we physically won't be doing it, it's the staff that does it. It's so awesome because they're like, oh,
Fresh eyes.
look at this. Like
Big time.
their comments are amazing. So thank you. We appreciate all of you. Find us on YouTube, Facebook. We're going to sign out with a beautiful mug that Zach Scott, he's going to show you some of the cool color patterns.
All right,
Bye,
folks.
everyone.
We'll talk to you Sunday.